good morning, or as I like to say, happy and healthy. My name is Shawnte Health Wells, and I am hailing to you guys live from South Florida, originally from Miami, Florida. And today I want to talk to you about a concept that I've phrased built, not broken. So throughout my life, when I saw the request about having a story, telling a story about resilience, I was like, oh my gosh, resilience is my middle name. And here's one quote that I will say that really truly has helped me, and I want to give it to you right away, which is Dr. King's quote. He said, if you cannot fly, listen, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you've got to keep moving forward. And that phrase of keep moving forward is that thing that has really truly helped me to continue to go through. So I have three short stories that I want to share with you today, because when I tell you that life has truly put the squeeze on me, that life absolutely positively has required resilience out of me, especially growing up in the level of poverty that I've grown up in, with all of the outliers that I had to overcome with being born to a teenage mom and then becoming one myself. And so I've been in the sports medicine industry for the last 24 years. Last week, April 10th made 24 years. And so I want to talk about pressure because I've seen a lot of pressure and what it taught me about resilience, right? And a lot of people, I think, sometimes get it twisted and think that resilience is, oh, life is about not never getting hurt. That's not what resilience is about. Resilience is not about not ever getting hurt. Resilience is actually learning about yielding so that you can heal. Like, no healing is taking place without a yield preceding it. So making sure that we yield to heal so that we can also adapt and we can keep moving forward, because the pressures are going to come. The hurt is going to come. So everybody loves a comeback story. There's a speaker by the name of Willie Jolly. I love that he says every setback is just simply a setup for a comeback. Woo! Listen, I absolutely love that message because it truly is. And so I don't know resilience from a textbook. I don't know this by all the degrees or my board certifications and all of the things that I've done in healthcare. No, that's not where mine comes from. Mine comes from actual lived experience. Mine comes from the things that I've absolutely gone through and the things that I've seen others go through up close and personal in my vocation as well as in my private life with my friends and family. So the first story I want to talk to you and tell you about really quick is I had a double knee injury. Now, if you know anything about sports, and if you've ever seen people get injured during a sporting event, the people that run out on the field, they know they kneel down. That's what I do. I'm a nationally certified and licensed athletic trainer. And so for me to sustain a double knee injury, obviously that's going to impact and impede what I am capable of doing. I'm someone that's used to being, quick and able to do, physically active things. And, I'm very, very independent. I'm an only child. So I'm super self-sufficient. And so having my whole world rocked because now I have to use a wheelchair to go through the grocery store. I'm having to lean on others. And now I'm on the other side of needing therapy. I'm on the other side of needing healing. It's one thing to have to treat others, but it was a whole dichotomy shift and game changer when I was the one that needed the help. I was the one that had to be the patient. When I tell you it was tough, there was so much pain that I was physically in, but also it mentally messed with me. Not only that, I was so frustrated. I was so frustrated because of the limited movement. I was so frustrated because I felt like it slowed me down and I didn't want to slow down because my life was going like this. And I just felt like, wow, I was freshly an empty nester and now I can really go full throttle again in my career. And boom, just like that, I had an accident, not due to my own negligence. I was the prevention poster child. And now I found myself in a state of having had sustained an injury that was significant. And I didn't want surgery because I was like, I'm over 40 at this point. I don't want them. Sometimes they cause more damage when they go inside. So I knew it was going to be a longer journey by me opting not to do the surgery, right? But here's the thing. Resilience sometimes like looks like slowing down life. And I think that God allowed me to go through that because it wasn't about the speed. I needed to slow down for this next phase of life. I needed to slow down and I needed to have a deeper understanding of healing. See, I thought that I knew that, oh, mindset, and if you believe that you can heal. But no, like it was put to the test. Now I had to actually bounce back. I had to recover myself. This wasn't about me helping someone else to recover. It was about me helping me to recover. So first thing I learned is that humility piece. It took humility to say that I need help. It took humility for me to admit that I was in pain because I was raised to be, oh, be tough, stop crying like a little girl. It's like, no, I am a little girl, right? But seriously, like I was required to be strong. Like I was required to be tough and you don't let anything stop you. And so this was something that was physically and mentally stopping me, but it helped me understand that I had to yield and humble myself, and it was okay to get help. And it helped me also understand what the athletes that I was helping to recover from injury was going through. And it made me a more empathetic healer. That's what I like to call that though. Like it helped me help others in a deeper, more meaningful way to return to play. It helped me also seek even more nutrition interventions so that I can heal. And it also helped me understand that sometimes you can do everything right and it's still a slower process. It doesn't mean that my athlete is not trying as hard or my patient is not trying as hard. Listen, sometimes things just hurt. Sometimes things are just going to take a little bit longer time. Woo! Listen, I'm telling you that I feel this thing like shut up in my bones. So that was my physical story of resilience. And then the pandemic. Woo, man, when I tell you losing loved ones and losing, 9 people, and then the same year I got injured, losing 2 more. So now I got 11 deaths and having to again, now I got to seek help because there were so many things going on and to lose 3 people that I actually 2 people inside that I cared about in the same week and having the police at funerals and telling you how many people can go in and come out, then that required a next level of emotional resilience on me because not only am I having to deal with my own physical injuries, I'm having to deal with the emotional and the psychological, hurt and pain. Listen, everyone grieves in their own way, and I realized through this journey and also going through grief counseling, like one, that it was okay to get help. It was okay. It didn't make me weaker. It actually made me stronger, recognizing my own limitations and recognizing that I needed help to heal with this grief. And that I was never going to physically just, oh, get over it, as some people, said. And when I lost my dad, I had people actually be irresponsible enough to say, oh, well, at least it wasn't your mom. Like, it was just the weirdest thing, or people saying, oh, you'll get over it in a year or two. No, you find a new normal. Like you never not know that they are no longer here on the physical plane with you. And so that resilience, listen, it required me pressing through those days that I was just emotionally exhausted. And, at that point, all of my wise mentors from life were now gone and having to figure out how I can navigate through that. But again, I had to go back to that yielding. I had to yield to heal. I had to yield to seek help. I had to yield and understand that there wasn't going to be a 5 perfect stage of grief and going from 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it was all over the place. Sometimes I was angry. Sometimes I was sad. Sometimes I didn't feel like doing anything. Sometimes I cried myself to sleep. And it's not that I thought that it was going to bring the person back. It's just I had to go through it. And there are some fires you just got to walk through and understand that by all means, keep moving forward. And the underlying thing was I knew that each and every person that I loved, they valued what I was doing in my vocation. They valued my calling and they invested so much in me. And I knew 100% without a doubt that they would not have been pleased if I would have just given up and stopped moving forward. They wanted me to move on with my life. They knew that they weren't going to finish this journey with me, but they invested in me. I was standing on their shoulders. And it was those messages, I'm telling you, it came to a point where I had to text myself that quote by Dr. King, and I actually would listen to that, the video recording of it. And so what I'm saying is resilience is not pretending like, oh, everything is okay and everything is great. No, that's not it. Pain can either bury you or it's going to either deepen you. So pain is either going to bury you or it's going to deepen you. I chose to let it deepen me. I chose to let the pain of that physical injury deepen me and deepen my connection with my patients that I see now. Not only that, it also deepens the pain of losing my dad and the pain of losing my friends, the pain of losing my aunt and my mentors. Listen, it helped me understand that grief is not some perfect line and that it's a process, it's a day-to-day thing, and that it's okay to seek help. And that requires humility. That requires humility. And finally, listen, my third story, really quick, is finishing my sports medicine program and getting that board certification. I'm someone that grew up in poverty in the hood of Miami. Straight, like, and no bars about. I'm what hunger looked like in America in the early '80s. And so I need you to understand, completing that bachelor's degree when you didn't have a blueprint for what that looks like, I was the first to apply, let alone go to college and talk about finishing. There were so many things that were impacting me. I was also a teen mom. I didn't have any money. Listen, times I didn't have a babysitter. I was getting put out of classes, but yet and still, I had this burning in me. My grandmother told me that I would be different and that God gifted my hands to heal. And I had this thing that I said, I'd rather die than to not finish. That's how much it was shut up in my bones. And sometimes that's the resilience level that you got to tap into is that, listen, by any means necessary, I've got to keep moving forward. So if you can't run, if you can't fly, then you need to run. If you can't run, you need to walk. If you cannot walk, then you need to crawl. Listen, I've seen people without arms and legs still finding a way to work out and to exercise and fulfill their physical dreams. And I said, who am I not to? I come from sharecroppers. My grandparents were sharecroppers from South Georgia. So what I'm saying is that resilience is consistency. And listen, I need you to understand when motivation disappears, resiliency is right there. Do as Dr. King said. Keep moving forward. Listen, success often belongs to the person who refuses to stop. And just like me, I refuse to quit. I refuse to give in. I refuse to stop. And so can you. Keep moving forward. Listen, here's what those seasons taught me. It taught me that those injuries, those that taught me patience. Those losses, it taught me perspective. Also, my education and having to persevere to finish my program, even finishing an extra year later. Listen, that education taught me to persevere by any means necessary. So whatever you're facing right now, don't count yourself out. Listen, it's not over until God says it's over. Do like Dr. King said. By all means, keep moving forward. If you fall 7 times, get back up the 8th time. Listen, you just got to keep moving forward. You can, you must, and you will win. I'm Shawnte Health Wells. That is my time. We are built, not broken. Peace.